Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mateus, and I'm a developer at GLX. I'm also a promotion engineer at Utiler IA, which is a platform for AI training. I'm going to demonstrate here for you a super ambitious project that I was working on today. In this case, I have a workflow in which I assemble the prototype in ChatGPT, then I take it to the cloud to generate the documentation. Then I will combine and generate the application. It takes a little time, but it comes out practically the same day. Let's say it takes for an application to be well-defined, well-modeled. A matter of 2 hours, more or less. Everyone says that vibe coding is... I say there's vibe coding and there's coding with IA, which are very different paradoxes, right? The buggy web coding, etc. Coding, coining, refining an application until once you can use it, it takes a lot longer, right? And refining is a point where the user can also interact with the application, right? It has a very simple backend. It's not very developed. I believe it's more front end. It's not full stack, right? It would take a lot of time, and usually these projects here, these are faster projects just to develop a line of knowledge, etc. I use Flutter, right? I was seeing that React Native, we are having some problems recently with performance issues. So I use Flutter. And in this case, the front end for PC, I use JavaScript. I tried to implement React, but I saw that JavaScript was better to be faster, whereas React already took a while. So basically, it was all in JavaScript, okay? There was also Node. Let me see here, YAML, in short. There was both the issue of programming language and the issue of brand language, which would be HTML. I believe it was just the base. It wasn't the application itself, but I'll demonstrate it to you here. I won't talk too much technical stuff to demonstrate the future to you. And I really believe that the future is people, teams that are qualified to be a business. You set up the application, you develop the application ultimately, you code, and at the same time you talk to the chat to see if anything is wrong, for example. When you get these errors, one thing I've noticed about all AIs, they have a lot of errors in the README file, a lot of errors. There are things here, blank around, reading like, these are easy things to correct, right? But I think this would be an improvement, right, for AIs to work on this, right? For AI companies to work on this README issue, which the anti-gravity application has no error. But the problem is that the error is in the MD, right? And if suddenly some company is doing something like this, they say, man, there's a problem there, man. And even if it's MD, right, which is a markdown, a text extension, right, a text file, it's not that critical, right? The normal app works, but anyway, can a company do something in this regard, right? Anyway, all this context here in the application, okay? JavaScript, right? I'm going to demonstrate here for you the working application. I use the designs here. I also used Google Stitch to generate the app design, and it will basically look like this, right? Let me see here. I'm going to take this second screen. Here it is. The feed is working, right? The feed is really cool here. I think the like button is working. Let me see, okay? There's the DM here. I can go back to the DM, right? Then I have the IGTV feed here. I don't think it's called IGTV anymore. I think it's just like search or discover. I don't know how it works today. Then there's the posting part. You're here to post things, so on, to become a camera, right? To go out, right? You post stories here, post my stories there. It's just like a part just to demonstrate, right? There's no backend connected because otherwise it would be really demonstrated cool to you, right? By posting a video here within the application, it would be really cool. This is the Reels part, right? You go down here, then there is the infinite page, right? And here is the profile part, right? The content is clickable. Everything's fine here. If I enlarge it, it looks just like Instagram, right? The mobile version. The idea is that I couldn't get Flutter to run, right? I don't know why. I think I don't have an extension installed here to emulate Flutter, or I need to see something here. It didn't run, but the application is fully functional. If I do a few more lines of code here, if I import a few more files, for example, create the buttons here, it's fully working. And what I tell you is that the future of programming will definitely be a team that has, for example, a Scrum Master, product design, Let me see a main engineer, staff, and tech lead. He directs the application in the sense that he can code, right? And let's say that there will also be another designer who is the AI designer, who will generate the entire structure of the application, will generate some comments within the structure that I can show you here. I created this system. I think it was much easier than trim code. Exactly. What happens? You take, for example, a JavaScript. Instead of creating the comment in English, you can create the comment. Instead of creating the function comment, you can put comment with the IA, what that function does, what can be modified, where are the latencies if I modify it, what will consume more for the worst user, how will that work, whether or not that functionality will run, how you can change that functionality, how it works, its back end, the front end, etc. So I believe that in the future we will be able to see, for example, the junior ceasing to exist, but this junior being the person who will be between the full and the senior. I really believe in this, that seeing the development here, I see that it could be that, for example, in the future, I will have an intern to do tasks, to code, to learn, to do the development. And then you go straight to the full and senior level. And then you develop Plano Scanner with applications like that. And then you can take it and start coding, start taking real projects without using AI, and then you become a main engineer with AI. I believe there will be this entire roadmap, and this application here is just to demonstrate this, because I really knew it would work. To give you an idea, I took some UI and UX screens from Instagram and just threw them into artificial intelligence and asked it to refine. Some buttons didn't have their function defined. She couldn't understand them very well, so I had to program myself and ask her. I had to indicate it. I had to use something to demonstrate it to her. I'll show it to you here. I use Lightshot. Then I go here with Lightshot. Then, for example, the DM is not. Then I put a little arrow here and put some text. DM doesn't work, for example. And then I save it, and then I play it here inside anti-gravity, and it will find a function and fix it. I think it's much more interesting than looking for the error, coding, looking for the log, coding, because this will become a very automatic task. And, for example, in the future, there may be an extension within VS Code. You take a screenshot of the application, take a screenshot of the backend, and you're ready to go. Guiding how that function works, so the chat itself can think about how to solve it. I will also demonstrate something else to you. I have a series of memories here, saved in this case, which are 5,000 lines of the file within the business rules to build any app. And I put cybersecurity metaprompt, data metaprompt, teams metaprompt. What each team does, what each designer does. Basically, it's a business rule for CTO. Design network, governance network, infrastructure network, all the IT part one put here within this application. If it were an application, for example, for the legal area, I would put the legal area and the IT part and the business part, the project part together. Then you choose the music area, add people from the music area, roles. So I create an agent within this context here of Markdown for him to think, and I tell him he shouldn't do it either. And so I can combine the application and put together a complete application as if it were an entire team of a company in just one prompt. And I see that this is the difference for the future. You can see here that it has a lot of markdown errors. Unfortunately, AI has this problem. But other than that, there are no bugs. So I come to this conclusion. The wonder of the future is that we are already able to solve bugs. And the AI came out in about 2022. So now there's no bug. It's very quick. Let's see what's going to happen in the future, okay? So all the best to you. Happy holidays. These are the new things that I'm discovering, that I'm coding, that I'm inventing within the AI, right? There's my profile. I think it's here on my LinkedIn profile, Google profile. From the developer, my portfolio, my stuff, my newsletters, and I follow the development. I'm going to get involved in some creation here, but I'm still planning what it's going to be like. Mini chat, etc. Automations with RD Station too. It's really cool. And that's basically it. I'm exploring a little bit of everything, and I'm seeing that Google really made the cursor lovable, etc. The only problem I had with lovable was Versal, right? In this case, importing the project here from Google to Versal. And I believe in other parts too, but I also discovered that there is an implementation that you can do to eliminate this error. But anyway, that's it. I hope you liked it. I'm very excited about the future, and I'll tell you about it. One-person business, a one-person team, it's getting closer and closer, and it won't replace anyone. I think it will enhance everyone.